Hey up everybody, Betty's back. Right, today, a nice simple one as always, Greek Moussaka meatballs. Sounds interesting and it looks delicious. So I'll show you the ingredients and we'll get cracking. Right, okay, so we have some lamb mince. Now I really was looking for a bit of a leaner lamb mince than this, but we've been struggling to get it just lately. So I had to get this, which is 20%. This is for the meatballs, obviously. One garlic clove, which will be crushed. We have some chili flakes, some oregano, salt, and pepper. That is for the meatballs. Right. So for the sauce and the bake itself, one onion, which will be finely chopped, 2 cloves of garlic. They'll be crushed. One aubergine or eggplant if you're in America. You want 240 mils of passata, which is about half of that. A tin of chopped tomatoes, that's there. Some tomato puree or tomato paste, 2 tablespoons. A little pinch of sugar or sweetener, depending on how light you want to make it. So we have some dried oregano, which is used over there. Some paprika, but not the smoked paprika. You want, I've left it over there. It is there, trust me, I've put them in jars and I forgot to bring them across to the table. There's 240 mils of either chicken or lamb stock, that's 1 stock cube to 240 mils of boiling water. 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, which is there. Again, salt and pepper goes into that. Olive oil or olive oil spray, you're going to need a little bit of that. We need 300 mils of milk. I tell you what, just I'll bring you over. There's the milk and there's the stock. So 300 mils of semi-skimmed milk would be ideal. You want 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, 60 grams of parmesan, 50 grams of mozzarella. I'm using you can use either grated or this is what we have from leftover from last week. Again, salt and pepper, and then some chopped parsley. And that is your lot. So we'll get cracking. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is make up our meatballs. This should make about 16 smallish sort of meatballs. So we're going to season these up. So first thing to go in is half a teaspoon of the dried oregano. So that's going into there. That's that. You want as much chili or pepper flakes as you would like. If you don't want a lot, don't put a lot in. There you go. That's probably a bit more than needed, but hey. Some salt. A bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And then our garlic clove, which I'm just going to crush up here and get into here. You could use garlic flakes if you wanted to, but I'm using fresh. So, obviously we're going to mix that together and try and get approximately 16 balls out of that. So I'll come back, you've seen me do it before, so I'm not going to show you doing it. I'll just roll them out and I'll come back when they're done. Right, so I'm going to be using the kasori again today, the big one. So there's the 16 balls, looking lovely. I've just lined the bottom of the tray with some baking paper and I'm going to put that into the kasori. Give me 1 second just to adjust this camera. Boosh. So there we go, that's going in there. Right, so we're going to set this. So grand zone, bake, where are we? Well, you don't want it on baked, do you? You want it on roast. So we're going to put that there, and that's at 180 fan, 200C, gas mark 6, or 400 degrees Fahrenheit if you're in America. So, down to 180. And that's just going to go in for 10 minutes just to firm them up, basically, because they're going to get cooked in the sauce later on. So there we go. That's that bit done. Just wait for that, and another second for you guys. I forgot to say you'll need to flip them halfway, so after 5 minutes I will turn them over and give you a look at them. Okay, so those have had 5 minutes, so I'm just going to flip them around and make sure they're all, like I say, these aren't going to be cooked fully by the end of this process. They're going to be finished off in the sauce that I'm going to make next. So just make sure they're all turned over and then put it back in for the remainder of the 5 minutes. There we go. So they're going back in, back on, and away we go. Right, so there we go. They are now not properly cooked, but they're, for our purposes, they're firmed up. So I'm going to remove these and don't let them sit in the fat, because there's quite a bit of fat. These are higher content than what I wanted. I'll set these aside, ready to go into the sauce. Right, so we're cracking on to do the sauce now. So about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, and our onion is going in, finely chopped. My aubergine that I've finely chopped is going into here as well. There we go, just get the cling film off, didn't want it to brown up too much. That's my aubergine going in there. And a little sprinkle of oregano also going in there. Need a little bit more than that, man. There we go. And also our 2 cloves of minced garlic going in there. So we're going to be frying this off until these have softened for about 8-10 minutes or so over a medium heat. You've got to try and get these, it's quite an important stage this, try and get your aubergines as cooked down as you can, and your onions. So obviously I'll continue doing this and I'll come back when they're done. Okay, so they've had about 10 minutes, they're nicely softened down now. I've just kept moving them about and just give them a little bit of attention. Right, the next bit. Okay, so in this jug I've combined the passata, the chopped tomatoes, the tomato paste, the stock, the red wine vinegar and paprika, and I'm just going to pour this into these lovely veggies. So I'm just going to mix that up. Give me 1 second, make sure that's all nicely, oh yeah, that's smelling good. Okay, so the next step, the meatballs that we'd cooked earlier, they're going into this sauce. Look at that. I've also got my oven preheated at the minute at, let me see, was it 170 fan I think it was? Yeah, I've preheated the oven, 170 fan, 190C, 375 Fahrenheit or gas mark 5. So that's preheating, ready for when this is done. So all I'm going to do now I'm just going to bring this up to a simmer, up to a little bubble, and then I'm going to simmer it for 15 minutes until the sauce thickens up. Okay, so while that's blipping away, I'm going to get on with my Cheats bechamel sauce. So this is a lighter way, or a slimming weld way, or whatever you want to call it, to do this. So I've put the 300 mils of milk into the saucepan, obviously. I've added 1.5 tablespoons of the cornstarch, and I forgot to tell you this in the list of ingredients, just a little dash of nutmeg in there. And we're going to slowly bring that up, slowly heat it up, but constantly stirring when I can find a spoon. So, see, that cornstarch has just stuck straight to the bottom there. There we go. Right, so you've got to keep your eye on this. I'm just going to bring the heat up. So obviously you don't want to see me stirring this for however long it takes. So I'll come back when it's time to add the parmesan into here. Right, so this has been a bit of a labour of love. I've been continually stirring it, but you can see when it changes and it starts to thicken up. So this is the Cheats. Normally you'd make it with a roux and start it off that way, but that's thickening up now. So I'm going to add about 15 grams of this Parmesan cheese into the bechamel sauce. Stir it in and it'll thicken up again. Just keep stirring it. Time's almost up on this simmering for the meatballs and the sauce. There you go, right on cue. So you can see that's thickening. It's thickening up. And all we need now, just going to turn that down. So I'm going to turn that one off. And I need just a little bit of pepper into the bechamel sauce now. Give it a whiz round. And that's my bechamel sauce done. It smells amazing in here, guys, honestly. Oof. You can see how thick that's gone, look. So with that and then the cheese on top of it, it's going to be amazing. Right, I'll be back in a second, guys. Right, so I'm now going to spoon or drizzle this lovely Cheats bechamel sauce just all over the top of this. In fact, I'm just going to do it with a pan. All over the top. Make sure we get it all. So obviously this is a lighter version of a bechamel sauce, like I said. So we're just going to spread that over, ripple it, like so. I think that will do. And then all we need to do is to scatter the remaining mozzarella over the top. Sorry, Parmesan, not mozzarella. This is Parmesan. The mozzarella's coming next. So try and spread it about as evenly as you can. There we go. That is that. And then it's just some sliced mozzarella going onto here as well. Sure it's nicely spread. And that's now going to go into the 170 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to put it in for 20 and see how we're going after that. So we're back in a second, guys. Okay, so that has had its 20 minutes. That you could take it a little bit further and brown it a bit more, stick it under the grill, but I'm quite happy with that. I've just sprinkled it with the chopped parsley, and we're going to be serving that with some shop-bought garlic breads, which we've just pimped up with some grated cheese on the top, just to dip into it. So, you know what time it is. It's triple T time for Betty Boy. Right, guys, got my weapon. And I'm just going to take it out of the bowl, out of the pan itself, as we're going to have this later. It's the middle of the afternoon. So as you can see, we've got a nice big part of garlic bread, garlic cheesy bread, even better. Miracle of miracles, I've not managed to spill any on my top yet. I say yet. There's always time. So I'm going to give this little beauty a try. It's had a chance to cool down a little bit. So I'm going to go for a meatball. Just split it in half. It smells absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go for a little bit of that, see what we're like, see what we're dealing with. It's still hot. Meatballs are nice and juicy, perfectly cooked. You've got your parsley on the top. You've got the tang of the vinegar in there. You can taste it all. Obviously, the tomatoes are really good. It's just a lovely, lovely dish. Wow. A very slight kick from the pepper flakes. I didn't put many in, but this has to be done. Some cheesy garlic bread dipped into the sauce. No. I don't think it gets much better than that. Cheesy garlic bread in that luscious, thick tomato sauce. And there's mozzarella cheese in there, parmesan, parsley, and obviously your pork, your lamb meatballs. That's a winner, lamb dinner. Absolutely spot on that. I'd give that a go. Relatively easy to do. The only fiddly bit for me was the bechamel sauce, because you've got to keep your eye on it and keep it stirring. But it is a lighter version of a bechamel sauce, less calories, etc. So I'm going to leave you guys there. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it one of them. Keep the comments coming, and keep all your lovely recipe ideas coming too. And we will catch you guys on the next one. So I'll see you later. Bye for now. Bye.